Today we are honoring Earth Day, discussing the many ways we can reduce, reuse, and recycle a variety of non-traditional materials in the garden. And who better to help us than our friend, Dr. Whitney Elmore from University of Florida, Pasco County Extension. Good morning. Good to see you.
So glad to be here.
Do you celebrate Earth Day like every day? Do you feel like you're kind of doing that?
Kind of so, yeah. When it comes to the education.
Your job.
Yeah, it is.
Well, let's talk about some traditional ways that you say people are very familiar with. We actually have some pictures we're going to show, which is good.
Absolutely.
That people are doing these things.
Lots of folks, excellent stuff. Lots of folks are composting these days, composting food waste, kitchen scraps, back into the environment where we're reusing those nutrients.
My mom does this and gets super excited about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you see a composter here and food scraps and all these kinds of good things, lawn clippings and all that kind of good stuff. But then there are some non-traditional types of things that we might do. Even using some of the plastics, which we don't want to get into our landfills and out into our environment. So we have a whole host of things here that you might not think about using.
You brought a lot of stuff this morning.
I had to really edit this down.
Okay.
Just going through the house, because there's so many things we can use creatively out in the garden, and this is where we can get our creative juices really flowing.
And do you actually use some of these things?
Oh, yeah.
Like, okay, I believe you did.
Absolutely. I mean, take mini blinds. So my dogs have an affinity for mini blinds and like to tear them up. So take mini blinds, and I like to cut a little bit of an edge.
Yeah, keep it. There we go. Show that.
6-inch segments, and these make really nice little garden spikes when you've planted your seeds in the garden, or just in your pots to know what you've got in there.
Okay. Is this when you, what's the date here? When you planted it or when you,
Absolutely. So, you know, these make really nice little markers, good way to recycle. And if you use a China marker, you can reuse these over and over again.
Okay.
So all this stuff doesn't have one life or two life. It can have multiple lives. Something like old pantyhose and nylons. You get a little bit of a tear or rip in these, or you just haven't worn them in decades. We can use these to tie up some of our trees and plants in the landscape instead of going with some of the plastics. Then they're even a little bit more harmful on our plants sometimes.
So this will kind of uphold with rain and kind of...
Absolutely.
Okay, all right.
Absolutely, that's nylon, so that's going to hold up through anything. Even reusing something like dryer lint. Dryer lint and old dryer sheets. Instead of tossing these away, put these into the bottom of a container, a planting container. Put your soil on top of that, and it's going to prevent your soil from being lost through the drainage holes in the bottom.
Okay.
All kinds of great stuff. Coffee filters, coffee grounds can be recycled.
I've heard of that. Yeah, okay.
Absolutely. The filter, put that out there. Milk jugs are one of my favorite things to use for so many different ways. Take an old milk jug and poke some holes
into the cap.
And then fill that up and use this as your sprinkler for your potted plants.
I'm thinking my kids are going to love that. Get them involved.
It works fantastic. And it's a very gentle type of rain flow.
Okay.
Cut up some of the milk containers, use the bottom, clip a few holes in the corners for drainage.
Okay.
These are great for starting out seeds and transplants. And then also take the top, and this makes a great shovel for your compost, your soil, even something like these guys that we have plenty of. We can use these to get seeds started, put a little bit of soil in these, or even wrap it in some newspaper, fold over the end, and slide this out, and you'll have your own little plant pots out of newspaper that are completely biodegradable.
Genius, genius. Okay.
One of my
coffee.
Yes, a coffee ground container here. These are usually kind of foil-like, a little bit of aluminum. We can plant directly in these. Again, we cut a few slits in the bottom for drainage.
Okay.
And we can start our plants in these for long periods of time.
I feel like this is a silly question, but is there anything we should not be putting in, any kind of material that should not be going in our garden? I mean, certainly with, you know, wildlife and other things that might be coming in.
Absolutely. Anything, you know, very small bits and pieces of plastics and things that you are afraid that any animals might pick up and eat on or carry off. But what I would really suggest to folks is, I mean, we don't want these types of things just being left in the environment. Okay. We're recycling them and trying to reduce our waste of these things. So when they have lived out their life and they're not working for you anymore, make sure you're collecting those back out of the environment. Don't just leave them out there for nothing. You know, one of my favorites is just using old cardboard and newspaper as a weed barrier. Put that down in our plant beds.
Man. We're out of time, and I'm just so excited you're here. These are awesome tips. If people have questions and want to get a hold of you and have their own questions answered, what would you have them do, Whitney?
Certainly, they can call us at the Pasco County Extension Office, 352-518-0156. Some of the best things they can do is come see us at our Earth Day celebration, April 22nd, at our one-stop shop in Dade City, and then Pasco County and Covanta have an Earth Day celebration at Cruise Lake Park.
All right.
And we'll be teaching rain barrel water harvesting.
I know they're so popular. Awesome. Whitney, so good to see you as always. Happy Earth Day today and every day to you.
You too. Thanks.